Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a look into H.D. Carlton's novel, Phantom.
Yeah, and we're using insights from a review we found. I think it was on the Echo Reads Where Stories Speak podcast.
That's the one.
So our goal here is to kind of pull out the key stuff about Phantom for you, especially if you're into, dark romance, interesting retellings, that sort of thing.
Or stories that just really get into the psychological weeds.
Exactly. Psychological complexity.
And Phantom, well, the hook is that it's this really twisted and steamy take on Phantom of the Opera, like super dark.
Definitely dials up the darkness. So the basic idea, it's a dark romance, right?
Right. It explores obsession, love, revenge, the big themes. We've got Zaid, this shadowy figure.
And very mysterious.
And Olivia, who's kind of caught in the middle, torn.
And what makes it different, I think, from your standard romance is that psychological angle we mentioned.
Yeah, it goes deep.
It really does. And the morality is murky. You've got characters, maybe especially Zaid, who are, let's say, morally broken.
Or at least complicated.
Very. And the book sort of challenges you, the reader, to figure out who you're rooting for, even when their motives are questionable. It pushes boundaries.
For sure. And the feel of the book, the atmosphere Carlton creates, it's thick with danger. Secrets everywhere.
Underground layers, all that classic gothic stuff, but darker.
Yeah, and these really intense emotional moments. The review we looked at really hit on how it tackles obsession, trauma.
The consequences of power, too.
Right, and that line between, like, intense passion and just control. It's blurry.
Super blurry. And that ties into the whole dark romance thing, doesn't it? It's meant to make you a bit uncomfortable sometimes.
Definitely not always comfortable.
It forces you to think about how far love can stretch before it, snaps.
Mm-hmm. And themes like isolation, finding yourself, trying to escape your past, they're all in there.
And Zaid himself, like we said, he's not just a monster, but he's definitely not a clear-cut hero either. He lives in that gray area.
Which seems to be a big part of why it's so popular.
Yeah.
The review pointed out it's all over BookTok, Bookstagram.
Oh, yeah. Huge in those dark romance circles.
People seem to really connect with that raw emotion, the unapologetic darkness, the moral questions.
It's intense. The reviewer was clear, though.
Yeah.
If you want something light and fluffy,
this ain't it.
Nope. If you want that intensity, that emotional challenge,
then it delivers. And speaking of connections, the review also mentioned Haunting Adeline, another book by Carlton.
Right. So Phantom is part of that same universe. If you've read Haunting Adeline, you'll probably recognize the tone, the style.
Similar shadowy vibes, probably?
Pretty much. Similar themes being explored.
So the overall impression from that Echo Reads review was, well, pretty stark. They called it disturbing, addicting, and beautifully written.
Like the combination.
Yeah, and also a love story and a nightmare. That duality again.
And that seems to be exactly what grabs readers in this genre, that push and pull.
It's fascinating.
The reviewer had this interesting final thought, too, suggesting that reading Phantom might actually shine a light on the reader's own shadows.
Ooh, interesting. Like it makes you look inward.
Yeah, that it taps into something deeper, maybe the less comfortable parts of ourselves, but through this lens of a romance story.
Okay, so let's wrap this deep dive on Phantom. We've got a dark, intense retelling of a classic.
Deep psychological stuff, morally gray characters.
Tackles obsession, control, trauma head-on.
And clearly resonates with a big audience looking for that specific kind of dark emotional experience.
So maybe the final thought for you listening is something the review kind of sparked.
What is it about these complex characters, the ones who aren't just good or bad, and this exploration of darkness within romance that pulls us in so strongly? Is it, like the review hinted, a way to safely explore our own complexities, something to think about?